Good morning, sir, and good morning, ma'am. I'm Geo Thomas from DC School of Architecture and Design. My project is an aqua school named BHOOMI at Perinad RANNI, Pathanamthitta. An aqua school is actually a school works with nature. Every month, the school will be aware and experimenting every moment and seasons and changes of the nature. In addition to that, I have created biophilic patterns to enhance the school's connectivity to nature and improving exploration of students. It was my dissertation research to study the benefits of biophilic design and its benefits to children and for the school environment. In current scenario, actually the buildings of the school is actually less exploring for the children. They're actually creating depressive environments with box classrooms and less ventilation and all. It's actually the classrooms like this which will create a much more depressive generation. So I have to create classrooms like this with farming areas and greeneries included to the classroom, which will make the children go and explore more, to give them more freedom and exploring and creating spaces with in cooperation with nature. So for that, I have taken these patterns of biophilic design inside to the design. So there are actually 14 patterns of biophilic designs, mainly with three segments, which are nature in space, natural analogs, and nature of the space. So with that, we can actually create spaces which can be applicable for these benefits: stress reduction, cognitive performance, and emotion, mood, and preference. So I have taken the CMS Higher Secondary School Thrissur as a case study because which is an older school in the Kerala, which is actually created a new block nowadays. Because and the difference between the old and new construction is actually shown here. The old block is with aging features and the biophilic features and everything over there with trees and all, and the new block is with fully concrete box classrooms, and the children itself feel much life on the next side of the building, the old block. So I have taken the major case studies. As the first case study is the Green School Valley, which is in Thailand, and which is actually in similar climate with Kerala. So I have taken this in detail with the site planning features actually. So the heart of the school is actually placed in the center, and all the classrooms and other segments are actually zoned uh, away from around that, actually connected with that actually. So everyone's circulation will be coming onto the heart of the school, which is an interactive space with different layers of spaces with libraries and all. It's a three-floor space with fully bamboo columns. So it is open and they fully air ventilated with bamboo columns and all. And they have created natural light with fluidic bamboo columns. So, and they have other spaces like auditorium and all. The classrooms are actually spread from there. And there are two different type of classrooms. And the first classroom is actually zoned with an lecture area, and another one is with meeting areas. So meeting areas can be closed with a bamboo membrane and can be used for presentation. And in the case of kindergarten area, there is a kindergarten classroom. It's a circular arrangement with a central fluid column in the center, which will allow the natural light and entrance. So they have used other features like incorporation of farming lands near to that, and incorporation of solar panels and everything. So the critical analysis actually, they're actually let in the water inside the classroom. So they have to use curtains for that. And the DPS Whitefield Bangalore is actually a school actually a bit more famous in India. But the problem which I have recognized over here is that the every landscape areas and everything are actually fully defined. So children's could exploration is actually limited. It will act same as in all the seasons and everything. So the confined space for landscape and everything will create less exploration spaces. The next school is actually the Pallikoram Kottayam. It's actually the site planning features are really interesting because the different blocks are created and different segmented of areas, and it's connected with ramps and steps. And in old block is actually most interesting block in the school. So it has 6 classrooms, and each of them have different kind of shapes, different kind of roofs with different ventilation, light entering feature and all, and different jalis are actually also taken over there. And the next school is Mahendra International School. It's actually in Pune. It's actually taken only for the study of the syllabus. So the syllabus which they are using is IB syllabus, which is a kind of more explorative kind of syllabus, which in that actually we have 3 programs: primary year program, middle year program, and diploma program. In which in the primary and middle year program, there is no usage of books, or there is not much need of a classroom learning. There are actually we can study with the activities and the play elements and all, everything. And when coming to the diploma program, only we will be introduced to the classroom books and computers and everything. And the next school is Nisha's Play School, Shiksha Niketan, Goa. It's actually a school which having more of the biophilic patterns in India. So it is actually designed interrelevant to the site. The site is actually fully sloped. It's connected with steps, and we have slides incorporated with the steps during the site. And the nature is incorporated at different levels of the site. So the building is actually split into two, and the center area is actually also created as a landscape area. So every classroom is actually incorporated with a dollhouse and an open area. So each student will be getting their own individual spaces for different activities. And the entrance to all the classrooms actually scaled down to really small things, so that every children will be feeling their own space kind of feel by entering that door. And they have actually aging materials like algae and everything all over the side. And these are the inferences taken from the site which I have said, the site planning of Green School Valley, and also the materials in Pallikula and everything. So coming to the site is in actually the Perinadu, which is actually a 46-acre site. So it's actually in the route towards the Shabarimala. So the main plantation inside my site is actually fully rubber, and there is a stream and a reservoir connecting to that in the end of the site. And to the next side, we have the oil palm plantation, and we have some teak trees also over the site. And the site is actually next to the Believers Engineering College, and it's actually the opposite side of the mountain. And the site is actually fully covered with the rubber plantation, as you see in the building. The heavy sloped area is actually fully, total slope of the site is 92 meters. And there are actually two entries to the site. And these are the images of the existing entries to the site. And we have actually rock surfaces inside the site as a feature, which can be used by using the retrofitting, and which can be explored as a playing element for children. And we have a big reservoir in the center of the site. And the main advantage is that there are different levels, so we can try on different levels of building and connection like that. But the weakness is that we have to create the ramps and all by different cut and fill, and lot of cut and fill will be needed for the roads. And this is a detailed site analysis with different aspects of biophilic design. So first segment is the most important thing, that is the detailed slope analysis. And the another one is the visual connection. And the next one is the water, actually the drainage patterns and all. Because the presence of water is actually a pattern, and I need to incorporate that. So I have taken in these drainage patterns to a water channeling unit. So that can be taken as a farming, that can be used as farming water channels. And also we have identified the natural features like rocks and other streams and other site features on the site, and so on according to that. So actually incorporating all the strategies coming up to this kind of a design, where I identify the central axis from the slope analysis, and the core is actually determined with that, with the connections of the site. And then from that, actually the stream is actually flowing in one side, and we have an entry there. So I separated it to public and private spaces. So from that, I actually starts zoning. From the core, on the next circle, I have actually zoned the academic areas. And from the next zone, I have created the accommodation areas. And on the other side of that circle, I created play and farming areas. And the end zones, close to the entry, I created the public zones. So these are the main site planning concepts. First one is the central axis, then the primary and public zones, and the central core and circulation from that. These are the spaces inferred from the case studies and standards. And this is actually the master plan of the eco school. And main features actually correlated is actually incorporation of farming land, and also these water channels to explore the biophilic features. So from here, is the main entry which we have created newly. From here, coming to the admin block, the admin block itself is actually placed with incorporation with the rock. And from there, we are ramping up to the core. And from the core, it is actually the interactive space. From the core, in the circular area, we have created 3 academic blocks. Each of them are actually incorporated with play areas and also the farming lands. In the middle areas, we have actually separate special classrooms for them for the further exploration of like cloth weaving and bamboo workshops and everything. And at the top of that, we have the site. In the top of the site, we have the faculty apartment, which is actually zoned in the top of the area to create a private areas for the faculties, and to enhance much view for them. And in these areas, we have incorporated the grounds, cycling tracks, and the students also hostel all together to make their circulation in the space much more confined. And on next to the reservoir, I created the canteen to connect the public and private spaces with a cafe and a canteen. And in the end of the public spaces, we have the auditorium, and the public areas and public nuisances will be zoned out to that area. And we have a service block next to that. These are the site features actually mainly explored: the farming lands, the roadways, and the water lines which we have taken for the design, and the pedestrian circulation from the center. And this is a section showing the different levels of the site. the administration block in the on the entry level, then to the core on the center, and the academic blocks separating that, and the top of everything, the faculty apartment. This is the administration block. From the entry, we have entering to the lobby. From there, we are segmented to two different areas: administration area and guest handling area. The guest handling areas is on different levels, actually according to the ramp. And then from the ramp, we are continuing different levels and continues the way to the core. So the different materials are used as bamboo columns, and the roof materials are actually bamboo mat, corrugated sheets and all. And site explored detail is this. And we have a separate cafe areas, which is in the mezzanine floor above the principal's room over here. So this is a view of the cafe areas and the lobby and the courtyard for the administrative people. And this is the core area of the school. And the center area of the school is actually designed as the core. And it is actually the interactive spaces included with an amphitheater and also a library with two narrative spaces and other toilet and other chilling facilities. And we have a mezzanine area for the chill out and spaces in the top of the entry areas. So it's actually fully viewable from all the sides. It's actually a fully open concept with using single joint bamboo columns and all. And this is the primary year, this first block, first academic block. It's the smallest academic block with only the first to third standard, which have a separate play areas and also farming lands. It has a central faculty areas, and the classrooms are actually spread out from that. The classrooms are included with a refugee micro spaces inside, which is a pattern of biophilic design. And the middle year block is actually having two different faculty blocks, and the classrooms are spread out from that. We have lab areas also incorporated over here. The levels are actually incorporated with the stills also, and the downward area can be used for children. And the views are actually really enhanced with the natural light entrance with bamboo membrane. And this is the explored views of the middle year block. And the staff rooms are having two floors in the top floor. The classrooms explored. There's a different detail for the classroom over here with two segments, one presentation area and one lecture area. And the special classrooms are actually another segment of the middle year box for more explorative areas and all, which have two woody columns in the center, which create natural light. And the diploma year block is the major study related classroom block over here. So it has a staff room block and also a lab block and 6 different classrooms. And the classroom detail is similar to the middle year block, which without having the it has a computer and technical needs incorporated into these classrooms. So there are different levels, and it's actually only a fully open concept with incorporation of organic gardens inside. The faculty apartment is shown in the top portion of the area, and there are separate landscape areas given for them. And the ground floor of that faculty apartment is given for principals and directors apartments. And the top 3 floors are actually typical with two bedroom apartments and 4 studio apartments. And the top floor there is a terrace. And the students hostel blocks actually created in different levels, with each floor in different level, and the top floor with a terrace also. And it's actually created with a semi-room segment with 2 students at a 2 students capacity. And the canteen block is actually placed near to the reservoir area, overlooking the reservoir. So the canteen is actually split with 3 different seatings: faculties, students, and also the primary students. And the kitchen is actually zoned in the outer center spot, which will ease the circulation of the food and everything. And there is a accommodated cafe areas also for the canteen. And the auditorium is placed in the on the end side as a public zone, which is actually connected with the cycling track and everything incorporated into the auditorium blocks and everything. The explorer views shows the different details and the fluidic roof and everything. And this is the service block we went, and this is the service segment, and there is actually some accommodation areas for the people over there. These are the different biophilic design patterns which we have incorporated in the site: the visual connection to the nature, the non-rhythmic sensory stimuli, the presence of water with the drainage patterns, and the non-visual connection by open segment design, thermal and airflow variability with the fluidic columns and everything. The dynamic diffuse light which will be created also with the fluidic columns. And another segments are the connection with the natural segments by connecting classrooms, and the material connection with nature with ramp depth wall and all. And the prospect is actually coming into the center of the areas.
Ranjit,